How do you write body language? If you're interested in the fields of psychology, you may know about the 7-38-55 rule. This was created by Professor Albert Mehrabian, whose studies suggested that 7% of communication is verbal, while 38% of communication is expressed through the tone of voice, while 55% of communication is expressed through body language. So pretty much the majority. And this is largely the reason why actors and YouTubers have become so famous, because they can all use body language in their own unique way to engage and excite their audiences. To a large extent, the same thing is true for writing. However, like in real life, it is often hard to know how to use body language in writing. If you don't use it in the right way, it can actually make your writing worse. So here are 3 quick tips on how to not do that. But if you're new here and you love telling stories, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. I post videos on writing and also random comedy skits that are probably so weird that you shouldn't watch them anyway, but hey, the first tip is to keep it short. Every time you describe body language, a general rule of thumb is to keep it short. At the very most, a description of body language should only be about 4 words long. Any longer than that and it's just unnecessary and boring. For example, the phrase "he sighed", there's only 2 words and it's a great bit of body language. It's short and simple and it expresses the meaning. It allows the reader to fill in the gaps. Whereas the sentence "he took a deep breath and let it out, his shoulders sagging as he stared at the ground with a frustrated expression." Some writers think that these types of sentences are good because they include a lot of detailed description, and sometimes it can be good if you want to emphasize a certain point, but in the majority of cases, like 99% of cases, you should use less than 4 words. Point number 2 is don't repeat the same body language too often. Here is another concrete, simple rule that's easy to implement. That is to not use the same phrases more than twice within the same chapter, or ideally within the same book. This is because the best writing is writing where every chapter and every sentence is unique. You're still keeping the same theme, the same style of writing, but you're using different words, different metaphors, different dialogue, and of course, different body language phrases. If the reader sees phrases that are repeated too often, then the characters are going to seem uninteresting, and it might be realistic to repeat body language because we generally repeat the same kind of body language every day because we're creatures of habit, we're stubborn little things, but in writing it just isn't interesting. Point number 3 is to use a list. The thing is that there are so many ways we can move our body, and the likelihood is you don't even know 1% of all the different ways in which we can move our bodies, and every single thing that we do with our body expresses some kind of emotion. For example, sitting slumped in your chair could express sadness, or wide eyes could express shock, or twirling your finger could express impatience. The list is endless. So wouldn't it be great if we could just think of an emotion that we want to express and immediately have a list of all the different types of body language that we can use? Well, there are many lists like this, and I recommend one on a website called writerswrite.co, and the link is in the description. You can basically print it out if you want to, and it lists all the different types of body language for every different type of emotion. So you can literally think of the emotion that you want to express, and then immediately you have all the different types of body language that can express that emotion. Pretty useful actually. So those were my 3 tips. Thank you so much for watching. You are officially flipping amazing. Comment and like if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.